Hello everyone. It will be our last day for this summer vacation already, people. Well, it's been a great time for any other vacation I ever had. Well, it's time to head to the books already and head back to school on 2009. Well, the only thing I'm gonna be talking about is a lot about bully movies about it. Well, basically, I did the top 10 of the worst bullies ever in movie history. Well, you will love this. Like, which ones the ones I picked, like the worst bullies ever, on my favorite hits. Well, let's go to number 10 already on my countdown. Number 10, The Karate Kid. Russo moved to a new state from California to Newark, New Jersey. Well, suddenly his new life begins start from the LA area here. These group of bikers were just the start from the bully beginning. Well, they were picking on Daniel and Russo before, after he started an argument for any other reason, but I don't know why. But the most hated part is like how this guy likes to talk to her instead, like he treats her like she's her girl instead, you know? Just like she won't give her any space to talk. It's like he does whatever he wants to do. But suddenly Daniel Russo gets involved, and also he picks up a fight instead. And suddenly he starts to push him from Daniel Russo likes to have a bear fight out of him, but suddenly he's so good he couldn't fight with him. Like he learned some karate moves with him. It's like also like he likes to pick on him for no reason whatsoever. Like he never heard of the guy before. It's like he's good from karate. Or after the beach, Daniel Russo goes on to school playing soccer, and suddenly those bullies were picking on him for in the field right here. But suddenly I hate this part when he gets kicked, he gets punched at already over here. He enters the Cobra Kai dojo right there, and like he wants to be interested on fighting against martial arts and karate. And he finds out this guy is just like a Vietnam veteran instead. He wants so many trophies, you couldn't imagine that. This interesting, like their bullies are right over there nearby. You see what I mean? They were trained for this master instead. And Russo rides on his bike. Those biker guys are just ganging on him for no reason. Can you imagine I hate these bullies before, you know? And then he gets pushed by the cliff in there to take a fall. Ouch! That must have hurt. Suddenly his life in his state couldn't imagine. Also, his master is Mr. Miyagi, who trains him to fight over karate instead. Well, suddenly, you know, this favorite part here is like he's doing house chores instead, painting the fence, sanding the posts, and also painting the house too. Can you imagine, like, that's not training or anything like that?
Wax on and wax off.
Well, he realized this is just doing a lot of chores around the house instead. It ain't no karate tournament. But actually, I give this movie a credit because I picked the top 10 worst bullies ever from the Cobra Kai students, you know? These were my worst bullies ever from the past. But let's go to number 9 on my countdown. Number 9, The Karate Kid Part 2, but again. Well, Daniel Russo is back on this movie already, on The Karate Kid Part 2, but realized he went to Mr. Miyagi's hometown from Okinawa, from Japan already. Well, Okinawa, Japan was real. I thought it was a legendary, but who cares? But the only thing is, there's another bully who bugs me around here. Well, this guy. He's just the worst son of a bitch I've ever seen. This guy is the number 9 of the worst bullies ever on movies already. I realize he holds a grudge against Daniel Russo, like his new He treats him like he's his new pet instead, like talks about his sensei. And realize this guy won't leave his sensei alone and anybody else. He's just the bully ever, you know? Sometimes when he's trying to be a hero about his uncle instead, like, I'm dead to you instead. The bad things he has is Derek and Daniel's side instead to beat him up. And this one doesn't take any tournament. This is a real fight instead for him. And my favorite part is, this is how Danny Russo kicks the living crap out of this bully instead. This bully, like, he makes a deal with anything, like black markets, making deals with the devil and everything. He's just a bad kid instead, you know? Yeah, that's my favorite part right here. Beat the living crap out of this guy. But, and son, this one was the best part ever. Well, actually, Danny Russo wants to kill him or spare him. Well, he spares him his life. So he's the winner. But let's go to number 8 already on my countdown. Number 8, Karate Kid 3. Well, suddenly, this guy, his name is John Cree and Terry. Well, actually, these two guys are completely bullies for no reason. Let's start from the beginning already, shall we? He's also pissed off when his Cobra Kai team lost from the tournament instead. Suddenly, like, he gets so mad from his Cobra Kai, he breaks the second trophy and chokes the poor kid instead. And suddenly, Mr. Miyagi gets involved, telling him to let him go, and also he spares his life. Now that guy's feeling sorry about himself instead. Well, he's also hired a rich asshole named Terry right here. But he's also an evil genius on this movie. Well, suddenly he has a plan for Danny Russo instead.
He's also a maniac.
The evil plot is to get Danny involved on trusting this guy instead, to train him the wrong way. And also he tells him like the troubled guy from the sensei is dead, but he's trying in this movie not to laugh instead. And also he hires these 3 runaway guys instead to Danny's troubles. He also believes the guy instead and teaches him the wrong way how to fight. Fear and pain really means. In the end, when he comes to his sense, he finds out like this was a setup. Well, he makes an appearance right here. Suddenly, he's too afraid of anything like getting fear and pain. Can they ever leave this kid alone? My God, what a bunch of assholes they are. Oh, we're gonna go to number 7 on my countdown of the worst bullies ever. Number 7, the next Karate Kid. Well, this movie starts it differently, like it doesn't have to involve with Danny Russo instead. It involves with a girl from the next Karate Kid. It involves with this girl. Oh, her name is like instead, but suddenly the actor, her name herself is Hilary Swank instead. Well, she started as a normal girl instead, as a high schooler. Well, they realize this, she doesn't have respect to her grandmother and everybody, to her society, and realized she lost her both parents at an accident before. Suddenly, in this movie, the worst enemy around is this guy instead. He is just the freakiest bully ever, you know? You know what this guy does? He arrests his girl named Julia instead, and begins to assault her, like, gets her in trouble a lot, you know? Oh, and realize you should not lay a finger on her instead. And realize this guy accused her of smoking, but she wasn't smoking instead. This guy is just a tremendous asshole instead, you know?
Trying to get her in trouble.
They should have picked on this guy instead for no reason. I don't know why they didn't make this guy an idea for no reason. And this guy can realize Julia's upset. Well, he meets up a guy instead, like his first boyfriend, you know? And she's comforting an hawk named Angel instead. Well, this improves something. Like Julia's like she's not alone. She has a friend. You realize this is another bully for no reason. This guy. This guy is just a nothing but a worst bully ever.
It's a pain in the ass.
And he refused not to fight or anything like that. And look what happens next after this. Boom! Son of a bitch! You should have do that 10 years ago already. And he brings him a punch instead, you know?
Thought fine doesn't solve
One more
it.
thing, this guy spots on her in the school night, like being the hawk instead. Why does this guy never leaves her alone instead, you know? Well, I'll show my favorite part when he gets his ass whooped on the end instead, you know? Well, Mr. Miyagi